this year's subject, financial literacy?
I feel it's a very important subject for everyone to understand. Not only people that are younger, but everyone that's older, because it's something that's very needed in society. If we don't understand it, how can we be stable in life?
I learned that financial literacy not only affects, our community, but it affects the world as well.
Because there's no greater stress, and counselors will tell you this, there's no greater stress in anyone's life than financial stress. So that is what financial literacy is all about, preparing you to face the world so that maybe it will minimize the stress and make you successful throughout your busy life.
I think it's critical and absolutely important that our younger generation learns about financial responsibility.
My name is Bill Jaycox, and I am the president of South Jacks Rotary. And I'd like to welcome you all here to the third annual Oratory competition. And I'd like to welcome all the school administrators. We have a very distinguished group tonight. Students and your family members, thank you all for coming. We have Rotarians from our club and Rotarians from 5 other clubs that helped us with this program. And we have some elected officials and guests, and I want to thank you for being here in such an interesting group to listen to these young people speak. Tonight's event is obviously oratory competition about financial literacy. So the 6 of you that are going to speak, I want to hear 6 get-rich schemes that we're all going to make $1 million by tomorrow morning with no money down. So, and I want to tell you a little story about the person I'm going to introduce next. 3 years ago, Doug Matthews came to us at Rotary and said, I've got this idea. And we said, okay, Doug, what is it? And he's going, we're going to do a speech contest, and it's going to be really great. We said, okay, Doug, we've heard this before. Why don't you give that a try? So Doug did this program with South Jacks Rotary, and we had 6 people come and 6 different schools. We had our competition, and we were amazed at how great these children were. Young people were. So Doug comes and says, I want to do that again. I think that was really interesting. We said, yeah, this could really grow into an interesting thing. So this year, Doug comes and says, it's a lot of work to do this. I think we can just do all 5 counties instead of just Duval County all at one time and do 5 counties and 45 schools, and everyone will come and it'll just be, easy. We're like, okay, Doug, right, exactly. So that's what we did. So I have to welcome to the podium Doug Matthews. He's chairman of this thing. It's his brainchild, and this year it is 5 counties, 26 schools. And I got to give Doug a hand for starting this and having the idea.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're delighted you're here. This is our 3rd year, and it's expanding dramatically, and we thank you for all your input and all the support and all the schools that have participated here. We're looking forward to hearing 6 of the finest students that our first coast counties have grown, and we really are looking forward to having our MCs come up, friends of mine for 20 years, Mary Baer from Channel 4, and Arthur Crofton of WEJZ. They have done innumerable charity events for me in the last couple of years. They work really well together, and I know they'll do a great job tonight explaining how the voting will go, and I'd like to bring them up tonight, right now.
To see you all here, what an awesome gathering, and to see all the young people representing our schools. It's the future we're talking about here.
I was mentioning to the table here that when I was your age, I was doing the same thing, probably not quite as well. Now I need to have a teleprompter, but but it is truly what got me into television. It got me launched into my career, was doing speech tournaments. How about that? With that, let's introduce our first speaker.
Dwight James. Come on up, Dwight.
My mother is a single mom who is raising 5 kids by herself. Yet, she drives a brand new 2014 Toyota Camry, has 5 balanced bank accounts, owns shares of Bank of America, and has a credit score over 700. Her sister, my Aunt Sharonda, on the other hand, lives in a modest apartment, works 2 jobs, is paying off 3 credit cards with high limits, and drives a beat-up Chevy Impala that she's still paying on since her interest rate was 18%. Why is it that 2 sisters who grew up in the same home end up in 2 different financial situations? Well, my mom became financially literate. After high school, she was debating between 2 majors, English and business. She decided on business. Not that there's anything wrong with English. In fact, I'm a creative writer at Douglas Anderson, and I plan to be the next Walt Whitman, but a financially literate Walt Whitman.
Okay, and now I'd like to welcome speaker number 2, Olivia Ade.
After high school, kids have so many opportunities to go do something, to make a life, but they have to know how. How can you cure cancer if you're drowning in credit card debt? How can you find a more environmentally friendly fuel if you're homeless? How can you run for president if the bank is knocking down your door wanting their money back? How will you love and spoil your grandkids if you don't have enough money in your 401k to last your lifetime? Being financially literate can give you a great life, but it also helps you to be able to live and be active in that life.
Right, let's invite our third speaker to come and present on financial literacy. This time we invite Jolene Stubbings to come join us.
That we must utilize what we have in order to have what we want. This important concept, this missing link, is financial literacy. And financial literacy, or the lack thereof, affects every American on a personal, business, governmental, and global level. At the local, state, and federal levels, the government must wisely spend what it earns. But it doesn't. Clinton was president the last time we had a balanced budget. That was over a decade ago. We are used to being the leaders of the global economy, but in actuality, we are the leaders of deficits, topping all the charts. As of December 2014, the U.S. owes over $17 trillion. There are 12 zeros behind that number 17. It is therefore safe to say that our government is not a good example of a financially literate entity.
Now, speaker number 4, Abby Murphy.
In the past, our money has been used from anything from helping other countries to our educational systems, Social Security, and even our president's Christmas vacation. If the importance of managing our expenses is overlooked and not carefully dealt with, then our entire society couldn't function and our presidential family is staying home for the holidays. You may have heard the saying, think globally, act locally. And this is a perfect example of how each and every one of us determines our global economic success with every grocery purchase, rent payment, and investment. When the people of a country succeed economically, the country thrives and allows the heads of state to make strong relations with other governments. And that is when the international community is at its best.
I don't know about you, I'm getting quite an education here. You ought to see my bank balance. That's why I'm listening, taking notes. Thank you, Abby. So I'm going to ask our fifth speaker to come on up now. Ryan Merrill. Ryan Merrill.
Going through these obstacles in life, we usually struggle with the difference between want and need. Big businesses like Apple and Microsoft are coming out with some amazing technology that is just so desirable to the human eye, like the iPhone 6, the Xbox One, the PS4. And we make the mistake of giving into this pressure and paying for these things that we don't even need. It is not their fault. It is ours.
And now our final speaker of the evening, Duny Moran.
Learning about financial literacy can help us make smarter decisions in the future. Understanding how the financial market works is not only in the business world, but also at a personal level. The Wall Street Journal printed an article stating, if a person saves $5,500 from the age of 25 to the age of 70 with 7% returns, that person would approximately have $1.5 million. Not everyone starts saving at the age of 25. The actual starting age is 45 years old. And in order to make $1.5 million, that person would have to make $45,000 a year. That's a little impossible. Picture it. At the age of 45, a person has a family, bills to pay, and education for their future. Let's not wait for life to sneak up on us. We need to start saving early. The habit of saving is itself an education. It fosters every virtue, teaches self-denial, cultivates a sense of order. Being financially literate won't just help us in our personal life, but it would allow us to make a difference in the world at a global level. So we need to start now to understand how finance works, make a difference in the world, and let's invest it starting with our children.
You know, Mary, I was just thinking about when I was a junior or a senior in high school. I could have no more done what these six have done.
I know.
Could you?
That's the truth.
Grown, those of you whose hair is not quite the original color?
Very impressive. Incredible.
Let's give all six a round of applause, shall we, ladies and gentlemen?
We'd like to introduce Barry Covington, who was instrumental in securing the support of our semifinal sponsor. Barry?
Well, I'm pleased to be here as a member of the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. I'm a fellow member with Doug, the guy who came up with the whole idea for this thing, and we're absolutely delighted that we could be here and that all of you could be here and enjoy this. I'm pleased tonight to introduce Judy Holland with UF Health's Proton Therapy Institute. But first I want to just interject quickly. This is a little bit more of a personal thing for me, since I was successfully treated there 3 years ago. And so I have an especially warm spot in my heart for the Proton Therapy Institute. It's a magnificent organization. Great doctors, technicians, and in my opinion, it's one of the real jewels in the crown of the great medical community that we enjoy having here in Northeast Florida. And I think we should all be proud of all of the wonderful medical facilities and their staffs. So without further ado, Judy, would you please come up? Judy Holland, she is the Director of Patient Intake Services at UF Proton Therapy Institute.
Thank you, Barry. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here. We're very proud of the fact that we're a sponsor. We're very proud of the fact that we're a part of the Jacksonville community. And I have to tell you, it's really intimidating to speak after hearing these young people. I started going through that list and thinking about all the things that I'm supposed to think about, and the poise and making eye contact and everything. And I thought, I hope that no one's grading me out there. It took me back to when I spoke many, many years ago. To tell you just quickly who we are a treatment center for cancer. We treat many different types of cancer with Proton. Proton is a precise radiation that treats a target without doing collateral damage to tissue. So it makes it very good for treating many, many different types of cancer. We're also the #1 proton therapy facility in the world for pediatrics. So we treat a lot of children. We are #5 in the world for just the number of patients that we treat.
A gentleman I've had the privilege of knowing for a very long time. He is large in stature in the business and advertising and Rotary community. Don't let anything else fool you. He's large in stature in this community. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to my good friend Les Loggins, Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. He's the one who got our title sponsor. Come on up, Les.
Thank you, Reverend. This is your final job here. Just want you to know.
I'll miss the pay.
As a Southside Rotarian, I am very proud to have One-to-One Financial Credit Union as our title sponsor. They stepped up immediately and said, hey, yes, we want to do this. And that's the kind of people they are. They're very community-oriented. They've been very good with Rotary. And they've embraced this project right off the bat. And they have attended every regional competition we've had. And in addition to offering the funds that help pay for the scholarships and the various activities of the project, they have gone beyond that. And they've offered individual advantages and items for the regional winners. So that's how dedicated they are. At this time, I would like to ask Becky Hulett, the Vice President, to come up and say a few words.
I'm going to tell you that my speech was written by Les. I'm not competing with any of these wonderful students that are here this evening. One-to-One Financial Credit Union has been in Jacksonville since 1935, and we are very pleased to be part of this program. We know that our young people are the future not only of our organization, of Jacksonville, but of the greater community. We have participated in many events as far as students go in their financial literacy. We work with communities and schools. We teach My Money Management workshops to middle and high school students. We teach Money Matters program to individuals from 16 to 24 with the Jacksonville Job Corps. And we also assist with financial training for the girls program at Junior Achievement. We also have many things that we offer at our branch locations for free. When the Rotary approached us and said, we're doing a speaking contest and it's about financial literacy, how could we say no? It's a perfect fit for us as well as our community.
Thank you, and I'd like to bring Percy Rosenbloom up now, who's Rotary District Governor. Percy.
Well, this is interesting. Just last Saturday, along with Baer here, we were in a course on public speaking Saturday. And one of the things I learned was that when asked, when attending a funeral, would you rather be the eulogizer or the eulogized? Honest to goodness, most people selected the latter. So my hat's off to these public speakers here tonight, because it is a very, very tough job. It's probably one of the most feared things that one could possibly confront, particularly if one's not very comfortable on a podium. Now, my job here tonight, I want to do a couple of things. First, a few thanks, going around the horn here. First, Rotary Club of South Jacksonville, Bill, and especially Doug for putting this together. What a fantastic program. And I'd especially like to thank our two talented MCs who overcame their fear of public speaking at early ages and have put them to good use. Thank you, Mary, and thank you, Arthur. And of course, all the Rotary clubs who participated and have helped grow this event. Doug, I'm sure you're pleased about that. The Fernandina Beach Club, the Jacksonville Oceanside Club, the Orange Park Club, the St. Augustine Club, and the West Jacksonville Club. Thank you all. And I'd especially like to thank the people who have made this possible tonight, who have put on such a fine banquet for us and honored our speakers, the Proton Therapy Institute, I believe the Sawgrass Asset Management people, and our title sponsor, One-to-One Financial. And also some people who have assisted in helping make this a good event tonight, and that's the University of North Florida's Division of Continuing Education and the Phi Delta Kappa chapter of the Education Association, of which Doug Matthews here is associated with. But especially who I'd like to thank tonight are our 6 brave speakers who got up here and delivered some fantastic messages and even helped Arthur become a lot more literate than he was before with his finances. Now, it's a big topic, financial literacy, and we see it every day globally and right down here in our community, where we're battling with pensions and everything else. And I believe the speakers are right on target, and they're aware of that. And that's good, because I think it'll bode well for us in the future. I would be remiss if I didn't say a little something about Rotary. And what I want you to know tonight is that Rotary is a very youth services-oriented organization. There are a number of programs besides this one that this district supports, and that goes all the way from early act and middle act in elementary and middle school ages up to interact. And I want to thank the audience here tonight for their participation. It's great. I'm sure the students appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Now, I would indeed like to ask a man who has been very much involved in this, this whole event and putting this whole program together, Bill Jaycox, president of the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. You have some announcements you want to share with us, Bill?
But, you know, those of you that know about Rotary understand that it's a global organization. It's not just in Jacksonville or in Florida. It's all over the world. And I thought for those of you that were just getting to know Rotary, I'd just give you a few quick points, and then we can move on to what you came here for. But did you know there's 1.2 million Rotary members in the world? 1.2 million. I mean, that's a giant organization. There's 130 countries that are represented in those 1.2 million, 32,000 clubs. You put us all together and we can move mountains. And I'll give you a good example. So you have a personal goal that you want to learn to run, you know, the marathon, and you go out and you do your thing. Rotary decided years ago that they would be behind the curing polio and eradicating polio in the world. Eradicating polio, what a task, right? We're down to 300 cases in the world due to Rotary and lots of other fine organizations. That's some serious effort, money, and time that we put into trying to accomplish something. And if that wasn't big enough, we see the light at the end of the tunnel on that. So now they've decided that we're going to provide clean water for the world as our next task. Could it get any bigger than that? I mean, it's just incredible. You don't realize that when you go to your local meeting and you hear about Rotary, but when you go to the convention and there's 25,000 people from all over the world and you see how deep it goes and how many things they're involved in, it's awe-inspiring. It really is. So I just wanted you to know a little bit about that. I think it's just amazing what you can accomplish when you put your mind to it and everybody chips in. So thank you, contestants, for being here, and I'm going to let Doug Matthews come up, and let's get started with the tally and see where we came out. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to remind you that every one of these contestants has been through a trial by fire. They've won an intramural at their own school. They have bested other schools, over 24 of them, to be here tonight. They've won $500 as a semifinalist, and now they're about to win 2 of them, either a $2,000 scholarship or a $4,000 scholarship. So we have, I think, the scores. Jay Plotkin, our scoring committee chairman, is here. He's going to say a few words.
Well, we have had the esteemed accounting firm of Bissell, Jaycox, Darrow, Plotkin et al. These have all been certified. The Secretary of State, Patty Chapman, has concluded that there are no hanging chads. And unless anyone wants to talk for 30 or 40 more minutes about Rotary before you hear the results, I'll pass these along so we can do what we're here for.
I'd like to remind everyone that we're going to have photos afterwards, so the schools that are here, you're going to have your students up here for a few minutes, and if you want to have some pictures with your students, with the schools you've come from, then please join us after this event. So, it was close, of course. We know it's always close because these speakers are always so good. I'd like to invite Marty LaPrade from Sawgrass Asset Management to come up here. And they are the sponsors of our runner-up award, the $2,000 scholarship.
This has been great fun, and Sawgrass Asset Management is really proud to be part of an event that brings together youth, the beautiful art of communication, and a topic that's never been more timely. So we're really pleased and proud to present the runner-up award to Abby Murphy.
Abby confided in us she is Miss Creekside, so she has a second title now.
I'd like to thank the Academy and my parents and everyone else. Thank you.
Our winner tonight is Jolene Stubbings.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all. I really appreciate this opportunity. It's taught me a lot of things about myself, things I didn't think I could do. And there's quite a few people standing at that table over there that have really motivated me and helped me along the way, and I'm really indebted to them. Thank you.
I have to tell you, Jolene from West Nassau, they came in at almost the last minute, and it was a wonderful opportunity for her, and I appreciate the school and her coordinator for pulling this all together at such a late date. Congratulations. Now, Mary and Arthur.
What a talented group behind us, isn't it? Amazing. All of you, each one. Congratulations. We want to thank again everyone who participated, the schools, the sponsors, the Rotary clubs that sponsored the semifinals again, and the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville for organizing the entire series.